How you guys doing? How you doing, sir?
Take your glove off before you shake a man's hand, brother.
Oh, what about high fives? High fives.
No high five here, brother.
What do you know about Mark Gonzalez?
My brother Mark, I've known him for many years. He's an honest person.
And Mark Gonzalez, who is the district attorney, is a member of your
correct
club.
We're proud of it. Am I right, my brothers?
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime
and the SJW district attorneys who don't prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Isn't it true that you, Mark Gonzalez, an elected DA and top law enforcement officer, are also a member of the Calaveras gang?
Yes.
Mark Gonzalez filed a motion to recuse himself from a case involving Emmanuel Eric Cantu. Police say Cantu's a Calaveras gang member accused of shooting 3 people outside of a store on Port. Sandalio Zuniga died from his injuries. According to court documents, Gonzalez' membership in the Calaveras Motorcycle Club may raise questions about his ability to be impartial.
You think? You think there might be a conflict of interest having a district attorney who is a gang member? Let me introduce you to Mark Gonzalez. This is the district attorney who has a tattoo on his neck that says "not guilty," because that's what people want out of their local officials: complete impotence and failure. Mark Gonzalez is the district attorney who you can count on to lose in court. In fact, judging by his tattoo, that's his goal. He's going to lose the case, because what society really needs is for criminals to not be held accountable. Now, Mark Gonzalez is one of many of the George Soros district attorneys. He is a progressive candidate that got a huge amount of cash donated to his campaign so that he could overwhelm the opposition. Through this process, many people who were very inappropriate candidates, who were not qualified at all to become district attorneys, ended up in the position. And Mark Gonzalez fits that to a T. He is a Calaveras Motorcycle Club gang member who managed to become the district attorney of Nueces County in Texas. These progressive prosecutors are all about promoting equality and empathy for other people. When progressive prosecutor gang members end up shooting 3 people outside of a convenience store, they do so with kindness in their hearts. They just want to make sure that there is equal access to that convenience store for minorities. Now, the Calaveras Motorcycle Club is not the highest profile motorcycle gang. They're not exactly the Hells Angels. But what do we know about them? Well, we can tell that their name, Calaveras, is Spanish for the skulls. So Mark Gonzalez, the district attorney for Nueces County in Texas, is the member of a gang that associates itself with decomposing human bodies. Is this what's appealing to people these days in their local district attorney? They want the chief prosecutor in their community to be someone who is associated with death. Maybe I could understand that if the district attorney candidate was a hardliner whose campaign was premised on the fact that they would seek harsh punishments, including the death penalty, for heinous criminals. But when the candidate is a progressive prosecutor who has a tattoo of "not guilty" on their neck, and they're a member of a motorcycle gang that calls itself the Skulls, I start to question whether this person is a very appropriate candidate to be the chief law enforcement officer for a county like Nueces County. Now, Nueces County is not one of the largest counties in Texas, but it's not exactly Hicksville either. According to Wikipedia, in 2010, they had a population size of 340,000 people. While that's not a huge population, I wouldn't exactly describe Corpus Christi or Nueces County as a rural area. It's also not exactly a radically left-wing place. For example, Nueces County voted for George W. Bush in 2004, as well as Donald Trump in the most recent election. It's pretty shocking to me that someplace like Nueces County would end up with an actual gang member as their district attorney. Obviously, this is a pretty big fucking problem for Nueces County. Just imagine for yourself every movie you've seen, every TV show, every video game, where the protagonist encountered some bad guy, and then that bad guy later in the story turned out to be in a position of authority. Maybe they were a police officer, maybe they were a judge, or a king, or something like that. That's basically what's going on in Nueces County in Texas. Their district attorney is a motorcycle club gang member. If you are an enemy of the Calaveras Motorcycle Club and you end up arrested by the police, you're basically completely fucked. Meanwhile, if you're someone who is a victim of a crime committed by the Calaveras Motorcycle Club, for example, you were one of the 2 people shot by Emmanuel Cantu, or the family of the one guy who was murdered by Emmanuel Cantu, well, guess what? You're also fucked. Gang members should not be running local district attorney's offices. A lot of people would agree that it would be a conflict of interest for law enforcement to also be members of a gang. For example, it would be a pretty big problem if a police detective in Los Angeles was a member of MS-13. For the exact same reasons, an elected district attorney should not be a member of a motorcycle gang. This isn't a complicated issue. To me, this seems like it's a matter of just pure common sense. But in the clown world we live in today, a Calaveras Motorcycle Club gang member is the elected district attorney in Nueces County, Texas. That is a fact. The reason that he's the district attorney is a huge amount of money that he received from globalist George Soros. Now, like every video I've done on the subject of progressive prosecutors who have successfully claimed power for themselves, I would recommend that if you live in Nueces County, Texas, then you should leave. I have zero confidence in the ability of Mark Gonzalez to respect your constitutional rights. If a Calaveras gang member wants to beat you up, steal your shit, shoot you outside of a convenience store, there's not going to be shit that you're going to be able to do about it. The person running the law enforcement in Nueces County is a Calaveras gang member. He's not shy about it. It's not a secret. It's not a conspiracy. He's 100% open about it. And his buddies like Trevor Noah with the mainstream media are happy to see something like this happen. So don't expect any sympathy from any of our nation's newspapers or media personalities. They are absolutely ecstatic to see a motorcycle gang member rise to the level of an elected district attorney in a sizable county with a population of over 300,000 people in Texas. To them, this is a major victory. It won't be long until there is a convicted murderer serving as a district attorney somewhere in the United States. And when that person finally gets elected, you can bet that the mainstream media will be there to celebrate. If you had any doubt in your mind that the rule of law is currently being undermined in the United States, then this should be a huge wake-up call for you. This is an insidious problem that nobody is talking about. If you enjoyed this video and you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe.